Luka's first game against the Mavericks since he got traded. What's going to happen? And then also loaded college basketball slate on the way for us today. I'm talking best bets. I'm talking winners. We're covering the hardwood. Let's get into it. This is the Free Three.
I love it, Noble. I also love your YouTube videos. I watched them while I was gone. That was fire.
But getting paid because yesterday we had a full sweep. Mike going under, that was just icing on the cake. Why are we going to go in such a weak AFC South? Unless we have the NBA Blowout Association.
Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds.
When you hear the sirens, you know what that means.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
What is up, my friends? It is your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and get to that money. I do appreciate you guys for tapping into the channel. I do apologize for missing Friday and yesterday, Monday. I do appreciate all the DMs where people are like, hey, Noble, I missed the show. What's going on? I do appreciate you guys for reaching out. I just needed to take a few days off. I had a lot of things going on this weekend with traveling and people in town, just a bunch of things going on, but we're back better than ever, and we're gonna load up the books with these college basketball and NBA winners. I really just wanted to kind of get a reset, a recalibration. February has not been the best month for us in all honesty, but we've been able to string together some winning days of recent, so we cannot be too mad at it. Again, all our plays are tracked on the Action Network, so if you guys are not following us there, make sure you guys do so at Noble Living, so this way we can get you guys up to date on all the latest picks and plays that we're dropping, even if we don't have a video. I do appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel and continue to show love on it by liking and commenting. And in today's video, I'm going to give you guys 3 quick winners, 1 inside of college basketball and 2 NBA player props. I'm going to go fast today. I'm done yapping. Let's get into the video. For some reason, I don't know why my Action logged me out, so I won't log all the plays live on the channel today, but I will give you guys still the plays that we're going to be looking at, and we can still use Action even though we're not necessarily logged in. So we do have a nice college basketball slate today, a few teams that are playing. Florida on the road at Georgia. That should be a very good game. You can see already the line has moved in favor of Georgia here, which I do agree with as well. Pittsburgh at home against Georgia Tech, and Pitt needs every win that they can get as they're still on the bubble. Providence, Marquette, Duke, Miami, Virginia, or VCU, Richmond. A lot of good games. But I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to go to a late night matchup, and we're going to go take a look at this Illinois and Iowa game. Now, Illinois opened up this game as 11.5 point favorites, as you can see right here. Now, the line has been bet down to 10, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Why? Because I see this as a classic bounce back spot for the Fighting Illini. We can see on the year they're 17-11. Meanwhile, Hawkeyes are 15-12. But when you look at the body of work a little bit deeper, you will realize that Iowa, they're probably not going to make the NCAA tournament. They're not that very good of a team. And there have been some boosters. I've been seeing some reports that their head coach, Frank McCarthy, might be on his way out. I don't know why I was just logged out of everything. That's crazy. But Frank McCaffrey, he might be on his way out. I'm hearing Drake's head coach, his name is being thrown around a little bit. So Iowa, not their best season, 6 of 10 on the year. They're coming off a home win against Washington, but that's not really impressive because Washington's not that really good of a team. Every time they've stepped up in class, Oregon lost, Maryland lost, Wisconsin lost, Purdue lost, Ohio State lost. So you get the point. Against the top teams in the conference, they've struggled. Against the bottom teams, they've been able to pick up a few wins in here or there. Meanwhile, in Illinois, they're 25th in the country in rating according to KenPom, and they got absolutely clobbered in their last matchup against Duke, 110-67. And when I read on Saturday that Duke was playing Illinois, I was just confused because I was just like, why are they playing this game? It's not like it's a conference game. I thought Illinois was in the ACC for a second because it's just weird to see a non-conference game being played so late in the season. But Illinois still has a chance. They are a bubble team, but they're probably last 4, and they're probably like an 11 or 12 seed right now, maybe 13 seed. But they can grab a few extra wins as we come down the back stretch as we get into Big Ten tournament play. You can see they've lost 3 straight games in a row. One at home against Michigan State, and then they lost against on the road against Wisconsin, then a neutral floor against Duke, and I think that game was at Madison Square Garden. So now to remain the finish off the regular season, Iowa at home, Michigan on the road, Purdue at home. You really want to try to win 2 of these last 3 games, and it starts today against Iowa. Now you can see KenPom has this as an 11-point win, but because of the way that they just got clobbered against Duke, you can see that's damn near 60-point loss that they suffered, 50 plus, 40 plus points. I think they're going to get out to a hot start here. And what we're going to do is we're going to isolate this to the first half. And I'm going to take Illinois first half -5.5. Now, if you can get -4.5, be my guess. But you can see that we're getting about -5.5 on the books here. So we're going to lock this one in for 1 unit down here, or to win 1 unit. Illinois -5.5, -115 odds here. Now, if we look at the first half specifically for the Fighting Illini, let me just refresh this on team rankings. You can see they are 12th in first half margin per game. What does that mean? That by the time halftime comes, they're winning on average by about 7.5 points per game. That's 12th best in all of college basketball. Meanwhile, if we look at Iowa, we have to go all the way down to 87th for Iowa, and they're winning the first half by an average about 2.5 points. So Iowa wins the first half by about 2.5. Illinois wins the first half by about 7.5. There's our 5-point spread right there. We just need a little bit of extra value on the hook. We know Iowa doesn't play any defense. You can see that here on KenPom, that they're ranked 174th in defensive efficiency. Meanwhile, Illinois, they're ranked 18th in offensive efficiency. Don't overthink it. Illinois locked it in as our first best bet of the day, but isolated just to the first half. Now, second best bet. Let's go to the NBA card, as we do have a few NBA games on today. Again, I'm not sure why it's not allowing me to track it, but we'll track it a little bit later. That is worth looking at. And again, the Mavericks are playing the Lakers, but before I talk about that matchup, let's go a little bit earlier in the day between the Spurs and Pelicans. And this might not be a popular bet, but it is one that I've kind of circled because we have to make adjustments. Obviously, the San Antonio Spurs traded for De'Aaron Fox. They got in a few other pieces like Chris Paul in the offseason, so this way you can pair him with Victor Wembanyama, and we could see what he could really do. But now with Wemby being shut down for the remainder of the season and for the remainder of the year with blood clots, it's now, I think, a win by committee style for the San Antonio Spurs. I think they're still going to try to make the playoffs until they, it shows that they won't. I don't think they're in just full tank mode for Cooper Flag, even though with them also owning the rights to the Hawks, one of the Hawks picks as well, they can literally get 2 lottery picks to go alongside Wemby. So, I mean, they're set up to really do something like what they did with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and David Robinson. Like, they have kind of the way that the draft has fallen in their favor and what they've been able to do with draft picks. They're kind of in a similar situation. But what I am going to look at here is De'Aaron Fox. He's the superstar of this team. And I want to go to Doink Sports real quickly, and I want to look at some of his recent game logs. You can see that they played the Pelicans, the same team that they're going to be playing today, and they lost that game on, Sunday, 96-114 loss for the Spurs. And we can see with De'Aaron Fox, he struggled in that game. 13 points, 3 of 16 from the field, 1 of 7 from the three-point line. Do I think he's going to have as bad of a shooting performance in this matchup? No. So if you want to go over 21.5, or he's averaging 21.5 points, his line's at 24.5. It's a little bit high, but he has gone over in 2 of the last 3 and 3 of the last 5. But what line I'm looking at is not his points, it's not his assists, it's actually his rebounds. And we can see we're going to get De'Aaron Fox at 4.5 rebounds here. And we could see last game against the Pelicans, he had 7 rebounds. The game before that, he had 5 rebounds. The game before that against the Suns, he had 9 rebounds. And then you could see here he had only 3 rebounds against the Celtics. Well, why is that so important in terms of the recent streak and what he's been doing rebounding the ball? Well, if you look against the game against the Celtics where he only had 3 rebounds, Wemby played 36 minutes. If you look against the game against the Suns, Wemby didn't play that game. That was the first game that Wemby actually missed because of the blood clots, and now he was ruled out for the remainder of the season. So you can see as soon as Wemby got ruled out, De'Aaron Fox went from 2 rebounds, 3 rebounds, 4 rebounds, 3 rebounds to 9, 5, and 7. Because it's who else is going to replace 12, 13, 14, 15 rebounds that Wemby gets us. It's now rebound by committee. Now they do have Bismack Biyombo playing some extensive minutes and stuff like that, but I just can't depend on him because I just don't think he's going to be somebody in the rotation. But if you look here on Doing Sports, you can see that his rebound line is at like 6.5 or 5.5. Let me see. Yeah, it's at 6.5. I like that. He had 10 rebounds last game, but he played 30 minutes. This is somebody who's used to playing 12, 15 minutes a game. So you might want to take that with a grain of salt. But again, somebody else on this team is going to have to step up rebounding wise. It might be Harrison Barnes. It might be Devin Vassell, but I don't think it's him. I think that the low number that we're getting with De'Aaron Fox, somebody who likes to get out in transition already, grab it off the glass, and now you can push the tempo yourself. I like that. We're locking in De'Aaron Fox over 4.5 rebounds as our second best bet of the day. Now, the odds might have moved on this a little bit, so let me just confirm the odds value for you guys real fast for my people who are listening, especially on the Audi podcast. So you can see we're at minus 165 here on certain books, so it's already up there. So what we'll do is we'll go 5.5 rebounds at plus money. Okay, if you want to do 4.5 and then you want to parlay that with something else, we can do that as well. But let's just go 5.5 rebounds at plus 105, and we could just lock that in, or 5 rebounds, and you could see what we can get there. But minus 165, I'll never have you guys laying that type of juice here on this channel. That's one thing with doing sports. Sometimes they give you the odds, but you could see here that for the rebounds, they have it at minus 140 on certain lines. So it's all good. We'll take 5.5. So 2 best bets down. Our third and final pick of the day. Let's cover the Lakers and Mavs real quick. And it's not going to be the popular pick. Everybody's saying Luka is in his revenge bag. He's going to get onto the Mavs for trading him. Listen, the Lakers are at home. And if this game was in Dallas, it would be a little bit different for me, in all honesty, because that's a stadium that Luka is more familiar with. And don't get me wrong, he looked very good in his last game out as we scroll down here. And we could see that he scored 32 points in 30 minutes. That's the first game that when Luka is really, not even just since he's been on the Lakers, but since over maybe like Christmas break, that Luka's looked really good. You can see December 15th was the last time he scored 45 points. And before that, 30 points against the Raptors on the 7th. So Luka's been struggling, but it was good to see him get 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. But the game is going to be emotional. I know that. You know that. The fans are going to know that. The books know that. And we're getting 31.5 points with Luka. And this is a guy who's gone over this number in 2 of the last 10 games. And one of those times is going all the way back to December because he missed literally the last 60 days with injury. I can't do it. I can't do it. So Luka under 31.5 points, and you can see here we're gonna get that at like minus 110 odds. Let me pull it up on Action Network so we can get the official odds value real quickly. But Luka under 31.5, you can get that minus 115 odds. Lock it in. That one game against the Nuggets, that wasn't even that impressive to me. I'm not going to lie. He looked good. The Lakers were hitting everything. Plus, the Nuggets like to play fast when they're at home, so I take that with a grain of salt. And then when you look at defensively for the numbers as well for the Mavs, they haven't given any starting point guards 31 points, 32 points. Steph Curry last game had 30, and he was right there, and that was on 12 of 20 shooting, which is very good. Before that, CJ McCollum only 16 points. Steph Curry back on the 12th had 25 points. Malik Monk had 17 points. Jalen Green 24 points. We have to go all the way back to February 1st. Tyrese Maxey 33 points. That was the last time they let somebody score 32 points on them. And against the Lakers this season, D'Angelo had 29. Obviously, Luka's not D'Angelo, but I'm just saying it's not like Luka's been in the best form. And if we go to similar players, not just starting point guards, we could see here Cade had 40 back on January the 31st. Jamal Murray had 45 back on the 14th of January. But besides that, Shea 31, DeJounte Murray 30, DeJounte Murray 27. So I'm not saying that it's not going to be a sweat, but I do like the numbers here, and I just think that it's the obvious play that everyone's going to take Luka. I could take under PRA as well. If you go to Doing Sports real quickly, you could see here under 49.5 PRA. Luka's been under this in 5 of the last 5 games. He's only averaging 30. So PRAs, and then they're literally having the line like 20 points higher. And Dallas has held starting point guards to less than 50 PRAs in 54 of the 58 games this season. That's a 93% hit rate. They're averaging 30. So if you want to do the PRA, be my guest, because that's super high as well. But we'll just do the points under 31.5. We're going to lock that in as our third and final best bet of the day. All right. Again, I do apologize for my people who are watching on the YouTube that I don't have all the plays locked in, just because I have to get my Action password or something locked in but here we are. Luka under 31.5 points. We're going to go as our first pick. We're going to go De'Aaron Fox over 5.5 rebounds at plus money. And then we'll also go Illinois first half minus 5.5. Those are the 3 plays that we're going to be locking in on this Tuesday card, all right? I appreciate you guys for tapping in. It is your boy Noble Living here every single morning, and I do appreciate your patience, the love, support that you guys show. We're here. We're going to continue to drop content for you, and we're going to continue to beat the sportsbook. Sometimes, guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and that means that we might have to slow down sometimes, take time to recalibrate, get back in our duffel, and that's what I think we're going to do heading into March. It's my favorite time of this year. It's the time I make the most money, March Madness, and I'm excited for to be able to do that again this year. All right, my friends? Appreciate y'all. Dictate your fate. Let's get to that cheddar, and I'll see y'all on tomorrow's video. Later, gang.